I concealed my former lover's contact under a deceptive alias, believing it was a trivial act, a way to hold on to a fragment of my history without anyone noticing. But secrets are like fractures in a fragile pane of glass. They inevitably widen. When my spouse discovered the truth, my entire existence crumbled in ways I could never have foreseen. I'm now divorced, left without alimony, and completely cut off from the man who once vowed to cherish me forever. When I wed Daniel, I believed I was choosing a life of security, a partner who would never let me plummet as my ex had. In many ways, Daniel delivered. He was diligent, dependable, a husband who fulfilled his role with unwavering commitment. Yet deep within, a quiet voice persisted, murmuring memories of the man I'd left behind, the one I convinced myself I no longer loved but secretly wanted to keep tethered, just in case. It wasn't as though I intended to betray Daniel or dismantle our marriage. But one evening, when loneliness struck with unbearable weight and Daniel lay asleep on the sofa after a grueling day, I found myself scrolling through my phone, entering my ex's number to see if it still connected. When his voice came through after years of silence, a part of me felt truly seen, a sensation I hadn't experienced in ages. So I stored his number, not under his real name, but something innocuous like dry cleaner or LHR contact, a disguise no one would question. For months, I lived in this clandestine bubble, small texts, fleeting memories, nothing tangible or, in my mind, significant. Yet guilt simmered beneath the surface every time Daniel casually asked who I was messaging, trusting me implicitly without ever glancing at my screen. His faith in me was absolute, handing me my phone when it vibrated without a hint of suspicion. Then came the night everything unraveled. While I was in the shower, my phone buzzed repeatedly, and Daniel picked it up. He saw a chain of messages from Ella HR, far from professional in tone. He scrolled through, uncovering conversations with my ex, filled with laughter and shared intimacies that belonged only to my husband. When I emerged from the bathroom, Daniel sat on the edge of the bed, my phone in his hand, his face etched with a devastation so profound he barely resembled himself. He didn't raise his voice at first, didn't hurl the phone across the room. He simply looked at me, his expression pale and shattered, and asked a single question that cut through me. "Why would you betray me like this?" I stood there, water dripping onto the floor, facing the man I'd vowed to cherish, unable to offer an answer that didn't reek of treachery cloaked in excuses. The argument that erupted was merciless. His voice broke with fury, mine with tears, as accusations, denials, and frantic apologies spilled from me. But words couldn't undo the wreckage. The trust we'd built was obliterated, and trust, once lost, rarely returns. Within days, Daniel initiated divorce proceedings. I clung to the hope that, since nothing physical had occurred, just texts, just memories, the court might show leniency. But Daniel's attorney tore me apart in mediation, presenting every damning screenshot, every late-night exchange, every saved image, portraying me as a deceitful, untrustworthy spouse unworthy of support. The judge concurred, and I left the courtroom with nothing. No alimony, no compassion, no opportunity to make amends. I hoped Daniel might soften with time, perhaps leave a sliver of space for reconciliation, but instead he severed all contact, blocking me on every platform, phone, social media, even email, as if I were a stranger whose betrayal was too deep to risk further exposure. Now I sit in a cramped rented room, surrounded by unpacked boxes, endlessly replaying my choices. Why couldn't I release the past? Why did I feel compelled to maintain a connection to someone who no longer defined my life? Why did I jeopardize the man who offered me stability for a specter who had already proven he couldn't love me as I deserved? The cruelest irony is that my ex is irrelevant now. He's not here, doesn't care. Those messages mere nostalgia for him, a way to pass idle moments. But for me, they cost everything. My marriage, my home, my future. While he moves forward unscathed, I bear the consequences alone. There's a unique humiliation in hearing your husband's lawyer recount your betrayal, line by line in a courtroom. A crushing weight in watching the man who once kissed your forehead refuse to meet your eyes. A devastation in signing divorce papers, knowing you've forfeited even the dignity of financial support, because you chase fleeting messages you should have erased the moment they appeared. I tell myself I never meant to wound Daniel, that I didn't intend to demolish our life together. But intentions can't erase consequences. The reality is stark. I hid my ex's number under a false name. My husband uncovered it, and now at 35, I'm divorced, blocked, and utterly alone, left with nothing but remorse. If I could turn back time, I'd erase that number the instant it entered my thoughts. I'd remind myself that nostalgia isn't love, that seeking attention isn't worth shattering trust, that clinging to the past means letting go of the future. But hindsight offers no salvation. It only deepens the punishment. Every night, I lie awake, yearning for a second chance I know will never come. If my story reaches you, if you're tempted to hide a secret in your phone, to disguise a number under a harmless alias, let my experience be your cautionary tale. Secrets always rise to the surface, lies inevitably unravel, and when they do, the cost may be greater than you ever imagined. You could lose everything, just as I have. I thought I could hold on to my past and my marriage simultaneously, but in the end, I lost them both, and neither will ever return.